Vithika, you know, we just spoke about taboo subjects and things we can and cannot discuss and what we feel comfortable with. So what are the main vulnerabilities that adolescents and youth face in India, considering the lack of access, you know, to information, to counseling, to other services? Because there seems to be, it happens in a few schools, but they're in the more sort of affluent, maybe the more open, sort of more liberal, you know, areas. But I'm talking across the board, because if we look at the incidences of teenage pregnancies, if we look at the growing instances of STDs in youth, if we look at all of these issues, even consent, you know, something like consent not being understood by boys and girls, where are we not, like, where is this huge gap? Where are we failing?
I think first and foremost, of course, the fact that we do not have comprehensive sexuality education and we do not want to think about it or perhaps have a strategy and approach to move towards that is really the big problem, because we do not want to acknowledge that it is important. I guess the bigger problem is that we eventually want to tackle teenage pregnancy, we want to tackle, you know, sort of the burden of contraception largely being in women, but we tend to talk about it at a much later stage with the population that we're talking about. And the fact is that we need to talk about this at a very fundamental and foundational level. If we are going to start talking about it when they're in schools, you know, really building that understanding around consent, around boundaries, that is when things are going to change. So I think as a society, I think policymakers, educators, parents, everybody needs to be a part of this process. Everybody needs to understand it's high time we need to start having these conversations. And I also very strongly feel that we always look for special moments to have these conversations, and that's really where the big problem is. The journey of unlearning is when we start to have these conversations every single day. You know, these can be your dining table conversations, wherever you are. Every little moment is an opportunity. A child would often come and ask you, oh, you said somebody's pregnant. What does pregnancy all about? What does that really mean? So agency, talking about consent, I think the fact that we are so late by the time we have these conversations really, you know, sort of, I think we lose a lot of things there.